Hi everyone, I am outside enjoying this beautiful Monday out in my backyard, and I can see some of the trees are growing back, and I just heard and saw a woodpecker in the tree. I've never seen that before, which is really cool. So it's so nice to be here and soak up the sun while we have to be home. And the book that I have today is called Franklin in the Dark, and I thought it was pretty ironic that I'm sitting in the sun while reading this book. And this book is all about facing our fears, and how when we do have these fears that come up in our lives, whether it's being afraid of the dark, being afraid of you don't know what's going to happen next, it can stop us from living our best life and putting, all of our courage out there to do the things that we want to do, and it kind of creates that self-doubt for us. So let's learn what Franklin does with his fear of the dark. I love Franklin books, even the TV show. I grew up watching them, so this is wonderful to read this book right now. Franklin could slide down a riverbank all by himself. He can count forwards and count backwards. He could zip zippers and button buttons. But Franklin was afraid of small, dark places, and that was a problem. Sorry, there was a bee on my page. Because Franklin was a turtle. He was afraid of crawling into his small, dark shell. And so, Franklin, the turtle, dragged his shell behind him everywhere he went. He kind of looks like he's ashamed of his shell. But he has to bring it along with him everywhere he goes. And if you're afraid of something that you're born with, that's really affects your self-esteem. Self-esteem is how you feel about yourself. So if you don't like who you are, you're not appreciative of how you were born, then it creates a lot of self-doubt and fear and not liking yourself, and it causes us to feel like we have low self-esteem, which creates a lot of issues for us when we make decisions, or who we hang out with, how people respect us, and how we respect ourselves as well. Every night, Franklin's mother would take a flashlight and shine it into his shell. "See," she would say, "there's nothing to be afraid of." She always said that. She wasn't afraid of anything, but Franklin was sure that creepy things, slippery things, and monsters lived inside his small, dark shell. So Franklin went looking for help. He walked until he met a duck. "Excuse me, duck, I'm afraid of small, dark places, and I can't crawl inside my shell. Can you help me?" "Maybe," quacked the duck. "You see, I'm afraid of very deep water, and sometimes when no one is watching, I wear my water wings." "Would my water wings help you?" "No," said Franklin, "I'm afraid of water." So he's afraid of more than just his shell. See what happens. See, even as he gets to meet other animals that are very different from him, they also have a fear that they can possibly relate to and possibly help each other. So Franklin walked and walked until he met a lion. "Excuse me, lion, I'm afraid of small dark places and I can't crawl inside my shell. Can you help me?" "Maybe," roared the lion. "You see, I'm afraid of great loud noises, and sometimes when no one is looking, I wear my earmuffs. Would my earmuffs help you?" "No," said Franklin, I'm not afraid of great loud noises." Oh, I'm sorry, I read that other page wrong. He is not afraid of water. So Franklin is now realizing that he's not afraid of water like how the duck is, and he's not afraid of great loud noises like the lion. So Franklin walked and walked and walked until he met a bird. "Excuse me, bird, I'm afraid of small dark places and I can't crawl inside my shell. Can you help me?" "Maybe," chirped the bird. "I'm afraid of flying so high that I get dizzy and fall to the ground. Sometimes when no one's looking, I pull my parachute. Would my parachute help you?" "No," said Franklin. I'm not afraid of flying high and getting dizzy. Cute. So Franklin walked and walked and walked and walked until he met a polar bear. Excuse me, polar bear. I'm afraid of small, dark places and I can't crawl inside my shell. Can you help me? Maybe, growled the bear. You see, I'm afraid of freezing on icy cold nights. And sometimes when no one's looking, I wear my snowsuit to bed. Would my snowsuit help you? No, said Franklin. I'm not afraid of freezing on icy cold nights. That's so cute. Franklin was tired and hungry, and he walked and walked and walked until he met his mother. Oh, Franklin, I was so afraid you were lost. You were afraid? He asked. I didn't know mothers were ever afraid, said Franklin. Well, did you find some help? She asked. No, I met a duck who was afraid of deep water. She said. Then I met a lion who was afraid of great loud noises. She said, listening to him. And then I met a bird who was afraid of falling and a polar bear who was afraid of freezing. Oh, she said, they were all afraid of something. Said Franklin. Oh, it was getting late. Franklin was very tired and very hungry. They walked and walked until they were home. Franklin's mother gave him a cold supper and a warm hug, and then she set him off to bed. Good night, dear, she said. Well, Franklin knew what he had to do. He crawled inside. He crawled right inside his small dark shell, and he was sure he saw creepy things, slippery things, and a monster. But he said a brave good night. And then, when no one was looking, Franklin the turtle turned on his nightlight. Oh no, the end. So I hope that you enjoyed the book. It was very cute to learn about all these different animals and the way that they had fears, just like how Franklin did. And Franklin learned that he wasn't alone in his life in regards to being afraid of something. Everyone's afraid of something, right? But if those fears get in the way of what you are doing day to day and how you treat yourself, how others treat you, if you are afraid of, being yourself or doing the things that you love to do, then that's going to affect how you feel about yourself and affect the choices and the choices that you make. So being brave, right? Being brave and knowing if anything happens, I'm gonna just get through it. And that's what we have to do today in regards to this difficult and uncertain time of the pandemic, is learning that everything's going to be okay. We're not alone. It's normal to have these fears, but if these fears get in the way of what we do day to day, then it can affect us and make us feel like we're alone, make us feel doubtful of ourselves, make us, have this low self-esteem where we don't really, feel courageous and brave and confident in the choices and decisions that we make. And I hope this book made you realize that you can find your own way of dealing and facing these fears. And remember that, first it comes with courage, having the courage to stand up to what you're afraid of. And once you build that courage and try something that you are afraid of, you can actually, and then see that you achieve it, then that confidence comes in, right? So first, these bees love me today. First, there's that confidence that you have, First, you have to have that, you have to have courage, right? To try something new, figure out how it goes. And once you do it, then that confidence comes in and it boosts your self-esteem up and how you feel and the things that you do. And then that's going to create a chain effect where you're going to keep wanting to do more and more and more. Okay, so I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for listening to me reading Franklin in the Dark, and I hope that you get to enjoy this beautiful weather today. It's going to be beautiful today and tomorrow, so please step out into your backyard or garden, take a walk with a family member, but remember the social distancing of keeping 6 feet away from everyone that you encounter. Have a wonderful day. Take care, everyone.